Hello everyone, today I'm excited to share with you a simple and effective recipe for making your own dishwashing liquid soap. It's eco-friendly, cost-effective, and you will know exactly what goes into it. Let's get started. We'll start by measuring our salts. Is your normal cooking salt. For people that are confused, you'll be asking what kind of salt is your normal cooking salt. After measuring, I'll pour it inside the water and mix it and set it aside to dilute. Remember that before you start, you would have measured the quantity of water you're using. If it's 20 liters, if it's 30 liters, you measure it and set it aside. So whatever you're dissolving, you're taking from that water. The second one, measuring out our XLS. So I'll measure it out. I started by using this small takeaway plate to measure it. Later found out that it will not contain. Then I got a bigger bowl to measure it out. We'll also take water from the quantity of water I've measured out to use for my soap. I'll pour the water into a small bowl and add my SLS. I'll mix it and set it aside to dissolve. Remember, you set it aside and allow it to dissolve very, very well before you start your production. I'll turn it very well and set it aside.
Why you know they get my time? Is there someone else? Did they do me funny? Every day new story. She doesn't waste my time, cause she don't become someone else. She palava for me.
The next ingredient I will be needing for my soap making is Texapon. I measured it out and set it aside. I measured it into two, measured the first one and I measured the second one to get the accurate quantity I need for this production. After you have measured it and you've gotten exactly the quantity you need, you will set it aside and start your preparation.
It feels good to love somebody and somebody loves you back. But it goes one-sided now. It goes one-sided now. You don't have to.
In a bowl that you want to use for your soap making, make sure it's a big bowl that will contain everything you're doing. You don't want the soap to be spilling everywhere. So in that bowl, you add your Texapon, the bowl that contains the remaining water. After adding your Texapon, start turning it immediately. Make sure you're applying force. Turn it very, very well for about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure that everything is properly dissolved before you start adding other things. For now, I've started adding my SLS, the one mixed inside water. I'm adding it gradually and turning it. Add gradually and turn until you exhaust the SLS water. After you have finished pouring the SLS water, the next ingredient to add is the salt you melted. Start adding the salt. As you're adding the salt, you will notice that your soap has started to thicken. You will notice the thick trace. Even to turn it, it will be a bit heavy for you to turn. Then you will know that your soap has started to thicken. In this video, my soap is foaming a lot. I could not even see what is going on inside, so I had to use something and scoop the soap and see. Now the thing is thick. You can notice the texture of the soap. So you continue to turn it very well. At this point, I've mixed my color. I took part of my product and added the color into it and mixed before I added to my soap. So you don't want to add your color directly to your soap. Always use part of your product or water to mix your soap. So after turning, you leave it for about 24 hours to settle in very, very well. Some people, they leave for almost 48 hours, but this is 24 hours after making the soap. And you can see that my soap has settled and it's clear. But if you look under it, you will see some particles. What is showing is that my Texapon did not dissolve very well before I started adding my other ingredients. So this is part of the soap that I removed. While this one is clear, if you look down, you will not see the same thing you're seeing in the other one. Is because I removed part of it and added to this one. I used green color for this particular one I removed, and I used orange color for the other one. You can see the texture. This is exactly what I want. It's not too thick, it's not too watery. This is me testing out my soap It lathers very, very well. This, I'm using it to wash my children clothes here, showing you what it's like. So you can use this soap for anything, for mopping, for washing, anything you want, you can use it for. Thank you very much. Make sure you try it out and thank me later.